Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, you're going to learn how to manage your cold email follow-up messages to ultimately convert more leads into paying clients. And this topic was requested by Sahana, who is a digital marketer, and she reached out to me on Instagram to ask for a little more guidance. Following up is a very normal, natural part of the cold emailing process. I've said before that cold emailing is not totally, but it is largely a numbers game. Your leads are getting emails from people who sound a lot like you every single day. So to assume that they're going to respond to your very first email isn't all that realistic. In fact, according to Lemlist, 75% of your conversions are going to come as a result of your follow-up emails. So if you're not continuing to email them after that initial message, you're basically leaving a lot of money on the table. I'll tell you how I follow up and also what I teach my students in Revenue Spark. Now, my general process is to send a total of 3 emails. So there's the initial email and then 2 follow-ups. And I follow up every 2 days. Following up every day is a little too aggressive in my opinion. We still want to give them time to respond, but we also don't want to wait too long because they're going to start to forget about us. We always want to stay fresh in their minds. So that's the schedule that I run the emails on. Now, what do I say in the emails themselves? I'm not going to go over the initial cold email, but if you want examples of what I say, go check out this video. First, I want you to ask yourself this question: what is the goal of your email campaign? For me and my students, it's always to get the lead on a call. When you can have an actual real voice-to-voice conversation with your leads, it takes away some of the mystery surrounding who you are. It helps build trust and authority, and for those reasons, you're going to have a much better chance of converting that lead into a client. That's why we're always pushing for a call. So at the end of our email, we end with a call to action or a CTA that's asking the lead to get on a call. By the way, if you want to grab my 5 proven email templates, go check out my mini course, The 7-Day Secret. I'm putting the link in the description below. So after you think about the main goal of your email campaign, I want you to think specifically about the goal of following up in general. Why do we follow up? It's so that we move back to the top of the lead's inbox. We don't want to get buried under a bunch of other emails. It's way too easy, and once that happens, the odds of being seen are slim to none. So we need to do something to put the email back to the top of the inbox. That's why we follow up. After that, the follow-up emails continue to serve the exact same purpose: get the lead on the phone. So my follow-up templates are very bare bones, very concise. I'm just reaching back out to them and saying, hey, following up on my last email, I'm still really interested in talking more. When would be a good time for a quick call? The second follow-up email, which would be the 3rd email total, same thing. Hey, so-and-so, looping back one more time. I'm really interested in working together. How's your schedule looking this week for a call? That's it. There's no magic here. All we're doing is gently nudging them, kind of like poking them to remind them, hey, I'm still here. I'm still really interested. Let's have a conversation and see if there's an opportunity here. If you want to make it even easier on them, you can suggest a few potential times throughout the week, or you could narrow down one specific day. Like you could say to them, how is Tuesday looking for you for a quick call? And then let them pick a time. This can sometimes help cut back on the back and forth because you are giving them a few options and then saying, here, just pick one. As I always tell you, your emails should be personalized. Yes, you can work off of a handful of main templates, but you should always be personalizing the name of the lead and the company that they work for, at the very least. And if your emails open up with, hi there, or to whom it may concern, or my personal favorite, dear sir or madam, it's not gonna work. When I get emails like that, I don't even finish reading them, I just mark them as spam. Really? You couldn't even take 2 seconds to figure out that I'm a woman? By the way, if you want to learn more about how you can avoid ending up being marked as spam, go check out this video. This is going to be really important if you want your cold email campaigns to work, so I've put the link in the description below. In addition to sharing my process for following up, which is what I teach in Revenue Spark, I want to offer you a few no-nos when it comes to your cold email follow-ups. No-no number 1 is starting a brand new conversation every time you follow up. You want all of these emails to be in the same thread, the same conversation. And you do this so that when your lead gets the follow-up, all they have to do is scroll back to your previous message and they can catch up and remind themselves of why you emailed them in the first place. But if you're sending a brand new email each time, it's not gonna happen. They're not gonna take the time to go back and try to find your previous email. You can do this by going into the email that you sent and just click reply. That'll allow you to send an email in the same conversation. No, number 2 is using threats and ultimatums. Let me explain what I mean by this because I know that it sounds a little bit dramatic. A lot of my students, before enrolling in Revenue Spark, they would use tactics to try to kind of scare the lead into responding. And one thing that I've seen a lot is, this is the last time I will be reaching out to you. It kind of sounds like a threat, like they're trying to get the lead to be like, oh my god, no, wait, I'm here. It doesn't work. Another one, I'd hate for you to miss out on this opportunity. Honestly, that kind of comes across as a little bit arrogant and self-absorbed. Like, I'd hate for you to miss out on this opportunity. Come on. Now, you might not mean it that way, but you have to remember they don't know you. They don't know you, they don't know what you're like, they can't hear the tone of your voice, so you should always be mindful of making your emails friendly and professional and gentle and calm. Threats and ultimatums? Avoid them. No, number 3 is offering freebies and discounts. I know there are people out there who will disagree with this, but I will explain my reasoning. I want you to take a step back and kind of look at the bigger picture here. So you send an email trying to sell your services and it doesn't work. So you send a follow-up email and you say, hey, if you get back to me, I'll give you X, Y, and Z, and it doesn't work. So you send another follow-up email and you say, hey, if you get back to me, I'll give you X, Y, and Z, and this, and that. I've seen a lot of professionals do this in the form of free audits, free samples, very heavy discounts, stuff like that. And this sets a very dangerous standard. You're telling the lead that you are willing to work for cheap or free just to get their attention. And in doing this, you're going to attract the wrong kinds of leads. You're going to attract the kind of people who are looking to get things done for cheap or for free. Those are not your ideal clients. You're reducing the amount of money that you can make, and it makes you look a little desperate. You're telling your leads, I'm willing to do more in exchange for less just to get the chance to work with you. Again, it's a very dangerous standard to set, and I say this from experience because I did it and it sucked. Don't do it. Now, what if you test out a campaign, you do lots of testing, and it still ultimately doesn't work? You're still not converting leads into clients. At that point, you're probably going to want to go back to your original email template, your original cold email, because there's a chance that you are starting off on the wrong foot. So your follow-up emails aren't even going to matter. But you can't figure this out until you test. You can learn how to get results with your email outreach in just 1 week if you enroll in the 7-Day Secret. Again, I'm putting the link to that mini course in the description below. Don't get discouraged when that first email doesn't get you an immediate response, because that's just the nature of cold emailing. That's why it is a little bit of a numbers game. And honestly, this is why I have gravitated more towards warm emailing. If you want to learn a little bit more about my process for that, go check out this video. I will drop the link below. If you made it this far, please support my channel by giving this video a thumbs up and tell YouTube that you like my content. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss a video, and I'll see you guys next time.